Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Today I want to talk about TJ Watt, and everybody knows how successful and dominant of a player he is. 22 and a half sacks last year, 2021 defensive player of the year. But I want to match some of the stats and tape. And recently for Steelers Depot, and I'll put a link to the article in the description. Encourage you guys to check it out because it's really interesting. But I broke down all of Watt's third and fourth down rushes last year. And that was done to get an idea of what moves he liked to use the most and which were the most successful. And by far, the move he used most often and the move he was most successful with was his rip move. He used it, a vast majority of the time and won on nearly 70% of his rip attempts. An incredible number, and by far the motion you guys see on screen. The charting I did of those third, fourth down rushes and seeing the rip move usage in success rate at the top. And so today, I want to look at the tape in two games in particular, going through the charting: the Bills game week 1 and the Browns game week 17. That rip move was quite literally unstoppable. And so I want to focus on those two games just to kind of talk through what makes this move so good for him. So week 1 against Buffalo, TJ Watt, left defensive end, a lot of hand down work on third down, facing a pretty decent right tackle in Darrell Williams. And you see the chase here to get the strip sack fumble on Josh Allen recovered by Pittsburgh. And so we'll kind of talk through some of these and then just go through clips on others. But you see the swipe here initially to knock down the hands of Darrell Williams, and he's going to finish by ripping through, by being able to take that inside arm and be able to rip under the tackle so he can't get hands on him, on TJ Watt, and be able to turn the corner and make the play. So we'll take a look at it from the aerial view so you guys can see it that way. And you just see the swipe there to the rip move to rip under and pass, that flexibility, the finish and corner at the top. That's a tackle trying to steer him upfield. He can't do it. And then Watt with the closing speed, the tenacity, and of course the finish to knock that football out. So you kind of see a bit of two moves here. The swipe initially right there to kind of knock the hands down a little bit, but then you see as he executes that rip move, dipping that inside shoulder, being able to have that hip and ankle flexibility to turn the corner here, rip under the tackle, and then finish past, and of course, finish the play. And it was a big one at that. See it again a bit later in the game, and honestly, Watt, this is even more impressive because he's not even really in a stance when this ball is snapped. It's a bit quicker count here. He's down on just one knee, not even hand down, in kind of that stance to really be able to explode off the ball. And he's a little hesitation here on the right tackle, and again, kind of swipe to rip, and then ability to finish and close and still get to Josh Allen on this play. Fortunately, productive third down for the Bills, a long pass there completed down the middle of the field. But just looking at TJ Watt here, this isn't anything about having a great, explosive ability that gets the tackle to open his hips and kind of play off base and without his technique. This is just kind of a real hesitation move because he was a bit late off the ball because of when the ball was snapped. And then Watt, just that quick swipe to rip, turn the corner, and still get to Josh Allen. Really impressive. Unfortunately, this play ends in a Bills touchdown, but late here, I think it's late in the first half in this example. TJ Watt again against the right tackle, Darrell Williams. You don't really see the swipe here as much, and if anything, and I certainly wouldn't call this a ghost move, but you see Watt maybe sort of try to flash like he's gonna bull rush or put a long arm into the chest of the right tackle. You kind of see it maybe right there. And you see this tackle can't get hands on him, and then again dip that shoulder, get skinny, reduce that surface area that the tackle has to hit and punch you, and Watt able to rip through contact on that play and almost get to Josh Allen. Again, unfortunately, this ends in a touchdown here, but look at it right here. You see Watt ripping through that tackle, now totally off base, falls to the ground, and it was good coverage on the play, really good throw by Josh Allen. That's why he's one of the top quarterbacks in football. But you see Watt ability to get skinny, corner through, rip through contact, not get pushed and steered upfield. That's the flexibility he has in hips and ankles, and nearly gets to the quarterback. This is a really good example and view of TJ Watt working on this rip move. So I'll play it through full right now for you guys, and then we'll go through it. So again, a little hesitation on this play, and then dip and rip through that corner, and get to the quarterback here. And so breaking this one down, just a really quick move. Although again, it's almost a little like receiver coming off the line, little foot fire almost, trying to see what the tackle's going to bite and cheat and guess and make a move early here. And so first part of the rip move is the outside arm coming down and trying to chop down the hand of the outside arm of the right tackle. And Watt doesn't really get that perfectly on this play, but still, it's step one in that rip move. So chopping down with the outside, in this case, the left hand, and then ripping under and through with the inside right hand. You see Watt do that there to kind of armbar the tackle's outside right hand, so he can't be able to punch and really get into Watt's pads with any sort of power. And then again, ripping through contact. That's some of the strength that Watt has. And so you need the flexibility in the hips and ankles to be able to turn the corner, and also the strength to be able to rip through and fight through contact here and make sure you don't get pushed upfield. So you see that move really well in this example from this angle. The outside hand coming down first to try to chop the outside hand, and then trapping it with the inside arm that rips up and through to the quarterback. Dip and rip example on this play. And again, I'm showing you guys basically all the moves, the rip moves that he used in this game. I think maybe one didn't work, so I'm not, being selective here with the clips from this Bills game in particular. It just was effective time and time again. More of a dip here. He's not really trying to rip through initially, just trying to be able to dip under and turn the corner, but then rips late as the tackle tries to recover. So see Watt here really dipping through again, that flexibility, ability to get skinny for a big guy. We don't think about Watt as the athlete too much, but he's a tremendous athlete. 9 point something RAS score coming out of Wisconsin. Tremendous numbers. A 6 point, I think 9 3 cone. Really, really excellent times. And so you see the dip here initially. The tackle's kind of engulfing him, and so Watt's going to then try to rip through at the end here. Does get pushed up a little bit. Allen steps up into the pocket, but overall he's able to kind of finish and turn that corner at the end after kind of being mauled by the tackle here on this play. So that dip to rip, stringing some of those moves together. You see that rip kind of come through really late there, and then get to the quarterback at the end and be able to wrap up a big guy in Josh Allen. So watching it here, you see the dip, you see the ability to get skinny here, and then right at the end, as Williams is basically grabbing him here at the very end of the top of the arc here. That's the rip where Watt brings that right hand, that inside hand, up and through to rip through Williams on this play, and then ends up taking down Josh Allen. Fast forwarding to week 17 against the Cleveland Browns, and poor rookie right tackle James Hudson, who was filling in. I think Jack Conklin had got hurt either prior to this game or during this game, very early in this game. I can't quite remember. But Hudson, the rookie, who I like coming out of Cincinnati, really had a difficult matchup here. And Cleveland, for some reason, did not offer a lot of help. I'll work through these clips a bit quicker here. Here you see Watt use the bull, and then when that kind of fails initially, he's going to rip under and pass Hudson. So initial bull rush here, and then rip under, get to the quarterback and sack Baker Mayfield, as the Steelers did a ton in this game. So looking at it one more time. Watt, good stance, explosive off the football. A rip, kind of a bull here initially. Hudson has a nice base, able to stall that out initially, and then Watt's going to then counter the second move here, the rip. You see that right hand, that inside arm going up and under to trap that arm to be able to turn that corner and get to Mayfield. So we'll look at it actually from the aerial view. And again, you see these guys are basically defensive ends. They drop into coverage 9.5% of the time. They're hand down 50% of the time. So that's kind of what they've morphed into. But you see Watt being able to rip under that at the end. Hudson doesn't carry that upfield that well, and that's a pretty easy play for TJ Watt. This example is a little bit muddier. There's a screen. The quarterback's getting more depth. It's a little harder for the tackle, but just kind of watching the move here. Watt kind of swiping, making sure the hands don't get on him, ripping through here. Not as cleanly, as effectively, but still ultimately getting past Hudson. Definitely off base, off balance here. Very, top heavy here, bending at the waist. And again, some of that's a screen, so not the this is not the prime example to look at, but we're just kind of going through all the clips here, and you see Watt. Even on a screenplay on a ball that comes out pretty quick, nearly reach Mayfield. And again, this example, Watt stringing moves together, able to use multiple moves in the same rush. Initially trying the bull rush like we saw in that first clip, and then going to that tried and true rip move here to get past Hudson. Good coverage on this play as well. Watt had some more time here to get to the quarterback, but you see the bull rush here initially not working. He's able to create some length here and some space on that bull rush here. And then you see that outside hand, that left hand knocking down Hudson's arms, which kind of pushes him forward and causes him to bend at the waist a little bit. That right inside hand being able to rip under here at the very end. Hudson don't want to say he gave up, but maybe thought the ball was going to come out and he's not, his feet kind of stopped on this play. But you see that move come together here. The bull not working. We're going to chop that outside hand with our left outside hand on this play here to get him to kind of lean and then try to rip under that as well. And maybe not, you don't get quite the rip action under and through like we saw in some of those other clips, but it's the same principle here. And he's able to be able to turn that corner, get under, get skinny, and then get to the quarterback. And that's just what TJ Watt does. And the last example, I'll admit Hudson is a wreck on this play. His pace, his technique is totally off. And again, I don't know what the Browns are thinking, giving him very little help on this play. They try to have the tight end here for some alignment stuff, maybe, but there was no chip or anything. And so Watt, with because he is a wider kind of that wide nine alignment, is able just to dip and rip past James Hudson very quickly. So again, I show all these clips. They're all, fairly similar. He doesn't even get the sack here. I think he gets mauled basically, and Alex Highsmith is the guy who's responsible for the sack. But I show these to really give you the idea that I'm not cherry picking this stuff. That I'm not choosing just two or three clips here to really illustrate. Again, Watt won on this move overall about 70% of the time. And in these two games, week 1 against Buffalo, week 17 against the Browns, he was winning at almost a 100% clip, which is just crazy, crazy stuff. So wanted to illustrate what that move looks like, what makes it successful, the combination of skills needed to be able to execute this move, and again, wanted to show you guys as many examples as possible of just how good this move was, and in these two games in particular, Watt was literally unstoppable. So that will wrap up today's video. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it and learned about TJ Watt's rip move and why it is so good and why you'll see a lot of it in 2022. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll talk to you soon.